questions? Otherwise, yes.
I'm wondering if you want to comment at all about what's going on with the politics leadership in the world right now.
Yes.
Thanks very much to what you're talking about.
Yes.
Society's changed and
Yes.
evolved.
So it's a comment or a question?
I'd like for your response to kind of what you think about what's happening with it.
I'm an optimist, in fact. I think we move forward, although we might go 2 steps forward, 1 step backward. I think overall we are making progress. What is going on in Arab countries, as an example, it's a remarkable thing. They never dared to say anything to any emir, any king, any rulers before, and then now they are saying it. Whether it could lead to fundamentalism or not, it is possible in short term, the way Iran went through it. But in the long run, it's a change that could also, it won't stay, because fundamentalism by itself is similar to what's going on now. It doesn't bring you forward, it brings you backward, therefore it cannot stay, and ultimately it will change. Maybe not for 1 generation, for 2, but ultimately it will lead in that direction. And the real changes in history is not just 1 year, 10 years, 20 years. You look at the long term, you look at revolution in the past and in Europe and in the American Revolution, etc. You see the outcome much later. I'm optimistic despite that. It's about Iran as an example. Frankly, it was corruption during Shah. It was oppression, etc. But at the same time, it was a better society, I would say. It was modern. People did not have to censor themselves for cultural issues, at least. But whatever it was, it led to this chaos. I was a teenager at that time, and I thought society would be better. Within a year, I saw it was a big, big mistake. Okay? And now that you see what is the outcome from it, the outcome from that, people are awakening better. The Iranian society probably will be one of the first one who moves forward, even compared to other Arabic society, because it's gone through the experience. And when you still there's a lack of unity, unfortunately, because we are the victim of those traumas. We don't trust each other. We think everybody has their own answer. But when I talk to different people, as example, as a teenager, I was against Shah. Okay? But then, now, as a grown-up, I met with Shah's son, with Reza. And I'm not a monarchist, but he's a remarkable man. He's very intelligent, very democratic. I openly said what I believe, he said what he believed. And I say, we really could listen to each other, learn from each other. It would have been impossible for somebody with my worldview to see with Shah as an example. But with his son, who has different background, different experience, we can do that. So those are things are signs that we can work together, despite all differences, and then be like any other society, where left and right, they could work together and then make a better society. This is what I hope.
With this rubric that you're talking about, what would you take Afghanistan?
Yes.
Is it just going to take longer?
Yes. Probably it takes longer, and then keep in mind.
Yeah, okay. If you have a question, if you could raise your hand so I can get the microphone to you.
I was asking, in using his rubric, could we look at Afghanistan, which seems worse off than most of them? Is it just going to take longer to get past this?
I think so. I think, yeah, it takes longer. The less developed the society, the longer it might get. And again, comparing to an individual, in terms of development. Somebody has not gone to school, let's say, and then you are comparing for somebody who finished high school, and put them to finish a task together, the same task. Who can finish the task quicker? One who has had more opportunities and gone through some education. This is the same thing.
Yeah, this good. I'm just leading to the second part then. With this, you're talking about education and advancement of thinking, but these countries, Iran being one of them, and Afghanistan probably even worse,
Yes.
kind of a brain drain.
Yes.
People who were doing this left,
Yeah, yes.
and the ones who are there are getting out.
Yes.
What kind of a back effect is that going to have?
Well, of course, short term it will have a negative impact. There is no doubt, like any other place. But it is change, understanding. The human being is a remarkable species. The new generation, let's say 2, 3, 4 generations, I don't think they will think this way. Because you see it compared to other society. Even if you try to go back to stop things, it's impossible. From the perspective of an optimist. Yes.
First of all, I want to thank you. Thank you for the story that you share about Rojan.
Yes.
Because it illustrates a lot of what we're going through. And it has been said that in order for things to change, we have to change based on your observation and where we are right now and the issues that we are dealing, not just in the Middle East, but worldwide as a whole.
Yes.
Where do we start to, what can we do as an individual, because it starts with us, to make that change for a better humanity, for a better place for all of us?
That's a wonderful question. Just raising this kind of question by itself, thinking about it is a step that we can take. And we do based on we can. We cannot expect everybody to do everything, but whatever we can. Attending such seminars, talking to each other. If there is a disaster somewhere, being outspoken about it, not to be ignorant. So that's all we can do. And as I said, people do things differently. Some people, they cannot tolerate it, they are angry and they will rather fight, as an example, with whatever means they have. Some people rather withdraw and they say, I give up. And then we see that again. It's always in comparison point. They have patients who are depressed, who have failed, and then they have no more hope. They just stay at home and do nothing. Severe depression. Some people, they get angry, agitated, and go do whatever they can, including violent behavior. But what is the reasonable thing? Really, not to stay at home and isolate, and not to go become aggressive, but to see what is common between all humanity, and then try to work on that. And what is common? Friendship, as an example. Helping each other when need each other. Basic human right. What is common between us, people to be able to express themselves. If nothing else, just to be able to express themselves without causing any harm to anybody. And I think this kind of event are, in fact, doing this. I am very optimistic and very hopeful that ultimately these issues would lead somewhere, even if it's at a smaller level, at a short time. In the long run, this is what makes the society go forward.
Thank you. Excellent point of view. But in the same token, how do we get the people that are going through that oppression to initiate that change? How do we get to them? To make them raise those questions. To say, you know what, I need to make a stand. How do we do that?
The way we are doing it already, I don't think it is any magic, as an example. Let's say from some countries in South America, as an example. People do the same thing, the other part of the problem, that's where you come from, have been a victim of many challenges in the past. And again, they might have withdrawn, they might not do anything. As I said, you cannot expect people to do more they can. But those who can do more, then you communicate with them. And you provide a comfortable situation without putting people in danger. Now, as an example, we here we enjoy the weather and the beauty of Southern California, and we say why Iranian people don't rise up against this dictator, as an example. It's not easy. It's easier for us to say that for them. Now they buy $1 for about $2,000 now. It was $7 during trust. And they cannot meet their basic needs. How can we expect them really to make any significant change? I was an advocate of, at some point, the West should boycott Iran. But when I was listening to the story, really, what poor people go through, I'm not sure if it's the right thing. I have no answer. That's why I come to this kind of thing also to find some answer. And it's not, I haven't found it. But I think overall, we will find the answer somehow together.
Yeah, I think as usual, there is this great connection between macro, micro, individual, and society. I think for those people who believe that you can just have an individual salvation and through just connecting with God by yourself, you can change society. This kind of connection shows you can't. You have to have a society that allows a healthy individual, and you have to have a lot of healthy individuals then make a healthy society.
Wonderful, wonderful point. Yes, I agree. It's not a question.
Okay, this is going to be the last question because. Thank you so much, Dr. Artin. As usual, you're amazing. I just have to tell you, I really admire your people and just the civil disobedience that they demonstrate in Iran. I just want to make that point. I do have a question. Do you really think that the very people who are bringing this kind of misery on the Iranian people can truly be removed or somehow transformed by nonviolence? I mean, case in point, Hitler was removed with violence, and I'm just challenged with how.
This is a good excellent question too. You are absolutely right. Some people, when you are as an example, you are in a family. I use the individual. If you are in a family and the husband comes home drunk and then beats the wife every day, okay? And you say, let's just talk to the husband. You talk to them, they say it's fine, and the next day repeat the same thing. Okay, the same thing. What do you do at the same time? We need the help of authorities in order to prevent it. You cannot ask the beaten wife do something differently because she could be killed if you ask her. Now you remind the authorities. You see, I cannot do anything, but I don't want also as beaten up victim. I don't want to behave the same way that my husband is doing to me. I don't want that. Okay, because I'm a better human being. It's the choice of the authority to make the decision. And authority is who? United Nations. Okay, this is what we have, is the reality. We look at the reality. United Nations, if they make a decision, this is based on the given data. This is the best way to prevent this abuse. Let it be. But it's not my individual choice to make it. It's a collective decision that other people make. And you cannot also, when you are abused, you cannot also ask another abuser to come and help you. You cannot, because the outcome is always the same. Therefore, unilateral killing by anybody, whether it's Israel, United States, Germany, whatever, is not necessarily the outcome. It could lead to other disasters. How do we know if, let's say, we ask Germany to come and rescue us by yourself? What you have then is yours. Then the next day, he may behave the same way. But if we say Germany, United States, Europe, India, China, here is the suffering that you go through. Please help us. You make a decision, even if I don't act in it because of my person, and we all have different person. I personally say, if somebody kills me, I will not raise my hand. I say, kill me, but I don't bring myself down to your level to kill you. It's my own individual person. But the society person could be different. So I have no answer. I think it's better to do an international community if something more aggressive needs to be done.
Thank you very much, Dr. Artin.